Hello everyone, I am Shankha Subra Sanyal and I welcome you all on behalf of S-Cube's classes. Well, I'm really thankful to all of you for your overwhelming response. The amount of love that you have shown through your mails, through your feedbacks, I'm really grateful. I'm really privileged. Well, today's lecture is on matter in our surroundings, and what we are going to discuss in this third lecture of the series is we're going to talk about the change of state of matter, like changing from solids to liquids, liquids to gases, and vice versa. We'll talk about the change in temperature, change in pressure. We'll also talk about latent heat, sublimation in this lecture. So let's begin the session. We know matter can exist in three physical states: solid, liquid, and gaseous state. For example, water exists as a solid in the form of ice, as a liquid in the form of water, and as a gas in the form of steam. Water comes as ice out of the freezer of a refrigerator, as water out of a tap, and as steam out of a kettle of boiling water. We can change the physical state of matter in two ways. Number one, by changing the temperature, and number two, by changing the pressure. When we say that we can change the state of matter by changing the temperature, we mean that the state of matter can be changed by heating it or cooling it. And when we say that we can change the state of a matter by changing the pressure, we mean that the state of matter can be changed by increasing the pressure or by decreasing the pressure on it. By increasing the temperature or heating, a solid can be converted into liquid state, and the liquid can be converted into gaseous state or the vapor state. And by decreasing the temperature or by cooling, a gas can be converted into liquid and liquid can be converted into the solid state. These points will become more clear from the following discussions. If we heat ice, it changes into water. In this case, solid ice changes into liquid water. So, a change of state has taken place. The process in which a solid changes into a liquid on heating is called melting, or in some cases it is also called as fusion. So when ice changes into water on heating, it is called melting of ice or fusion of ice. A change of state takes place during melting. The melting of a substance takes place at a fixed temperature. The temperature at which a substance melts and changes into liquid at atmospheric pressure is called the melting point. For example, the ice at a temperature of 0 degree centigrade to form liquid water. So the melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. At melting point, ice changes its state from liquid to solid. When a solid is heated sufficiently, it changes its physical state and becomes a liquid. This happens as follows. When a solid substance is heated, the heat energy takes its particles vibrate more vigorously. At the melting point, the particles of a solid have sufficient kinetic energy to overcome the strong forces of attraction holding them in fixed positions and break to form small groups of particles, and the solid melts to form liquid. Water normally exists in the liquid state. If we go on heating water, it ultimately starts boiling and changes rapidly into a gas called steam. In this case, the liquid water changes into a gas. So, a change of state has taken place. The process in which a liquid substance changes into a gas rapidly on heating is called boiling. So when water changes into steam rapidly on heating, it is called boiling of water. A change of state takes place during boiling. The boiling of a liquid takes place at a fixed temperature. The temperature at which a liquid boils and changes rapidly into a gas at atmospheric pressure is called boiling point of the liquid. Let's take an example. When water is heated to a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade, it boils rapidly to form a gas called steam. So the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. At boiling point, water changes its state from liquid to gaseous state. If we cool steam, that is the water vapor, by lowering its temperature, it is converted into liquid water. In this case, a gas or steam changes into a liquid. So, a change of state has taken place. The process of changing a gas or vapor to a liquid by cooling is called condensation. So when steam changes into water on cooling, it is called condensation of steam. A change of state takes place during condensation. When water is cooled by lowering its temperature by keeping it in a freezer compartment of a refrigerator, it changes into solid ice. The process of changing a liquid into a solid by cooling is called freezing. For example, when water is cooled, it gets converted into a solid called ice. This is called freezing of water. Freezing means solidification. When water freezes to form ice, then there is a change from liquid state to the solid state. Well, we must note that freezing is the reverse of melting. So, the freezing point of a liquid is the same as the melting point of the solid form. For example, the melting point of ice is 0 degrees centigrade. So, the freezing point of water is also 0 degrees centigrade. A change of state from liquid to solid occurs during freezing. Normally, when heat is given to a substance, then its temperature rises. This, however, is not so when a change of state of a substance takes place. Because when heat is given to change the physical state of a substance, that is from, say, solid to liquid or maybe from liquid to gas, there is no rise in temperature of the substance. The heat energy which has to be supplied to change the state of a substance is called its latent heat. What is it? Latent heat. Latent heat does not rise or increase the temperature, but latent heat has always to be supplied to change the state of a substance. The word latent means hidden. It is called latent heat because it becomes hidden in the substance undergoing the change of state and does not show its presence by rising the temperature. So, the latent heat which is given to change the state of a substance cannot be detected by a thermometer. Latent heat is basically of two types: latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization. The heat required to convert a solid into the liquid state is called latent heat of fusion, or we may call it latent heat of melting. And the heat required to convert a liquid into a vapor state or gas is called the latent heat of vaporization. The latent heat of fusion or melting of a solid is the quantity of heat in joules required to convert 1 kilogram of the solid at its melting point to liquid without any change in temperature. It has been found by experiments that 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat has to be supplied to change 1 kilogram of ice at its melting point of 0 degrees centigrade to water at the same temperature of 0 degree centigrade. So the latent heat of fusion of ice is 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joules per kg. We have actually seen that solid melts on heating. Its temperature remains the same. Now, an important question arises over here. Where does the energy go then? Well, actually, this heat energy is used up in changing the state of the solid substance by overcoming the force of attraction existing between the particles. The latent heat of vaporization of a liquid is the quantity of heat in joules required to convert 1 kilogram of the liquid at its boiling point to vapor or gas without any change in the temperature. It has been found by experiments that 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat is required to change 1 kilogram of water at its boiling point of 100 degrees centigrade to steam at the same temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. So the latent heat of vaporization of water is 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules per kilogram. We have seen that liquid boils on heating and gets converted from liquid to the vapor state. The energy supplied to the boiling liquid is used up in changing the state of the liquid substance by overcoming the force of attraction between its particles. The changing of a solid directly into vapors on heating and of vapors into solid on cooling is called sublimation. Well, we must note over here that the changing of a solid directly into vapor is called sublimation. Again, the changing of vapor directly into solid is also called sublimation. The solid substance which undergoes sublimation is called sublime, and the solid substance obtained by cooling the vapors of a solid is called a sublimate. Let us now take an example and discuss this. Ammonium chloride undergoes sublimation. When solid ammonium chloride is heated directly, it changes into ammonium chloride vapor without passing through a liquid state. And when hot ammonium chloride vapor is cooled, it directly changes into solid ammonium chloride without passing through the liquid state. Sublimation occurs only in a few substances, so it's a very rare process. The common substances which undergo sublimation are ammonium chloride, iodine, camphor, kapoor, the one that you use during your pujas and all. Naphthalene balls, yes, naphthalene is another substance which undergoes sublimation, and anthracene. Solid carbon dioxide or dry ice sublimes to form carbon dioxide gas as well. The physical state of a matter can also be changed by changing the pressure. In other words, the physical state of a matter can also be changed by increasing the pressure or decreasing the pressure. For example, gases can be changed into liquids by increasing the pressure, accompanied by lowering of temperature. And some solids like solid carbon dioxide can change into gases on decreasing the pressure. Let us take an example and discuss this in a little details. When a high pressure is applied to a gas, it gets compressed into a small volume, and when we also lower its temperature, it gets liquefied. So we can also say that gases can be liquefied, that is turned into liquids, by compression and cooling. Now, how it actually happens? There is a lot of space between the particles of gas. So when we reduce the spaces between the particles of a gas by enclosing it in a cylinder and compressing it by pushing in the piston, enough force is applied to the piston, the gas is highly compressed into small volume. The particles of gas get so close together that they start attracting each other. And we say that the gas has actually liquefied. When a gas is compressed too much, then heat is produced due to compression. So when applying pressure to liquefy gases, it is necessary to cool them to take away the heat produced during compression. Cooling lowers the temperature of compressed gases and helps in liquefying it. So, what we can conclude? We can conclude that gases can be liquefied by applying pressure and lowering the temperature. So, this brings us to the end of the lecture. Well, before I sign off, as I always do, I would request you, in case you have any queries, please do feel free to write to me at scubesclasses@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me on the numbers given on your screen. It would be a privilege on my part to be addressing your queries. Thank you so much.